It's no secret that Europe has been flooded with immigrants in recent years. But do you truly know how bad the situation really is? The mainstream media won't tell you how this endless wave of immigration is tearing apart some of the continent's most iconic countries. From soaring crime rates to fading cultures, these nations are facing challenges they never anticipated, and the consequences are far worse than anyone could have imagined. Today, we're exposing the harsh reality of immigration and revealing 5 countries that are destroyed due to immigrants. Number 5, Sweden. Sweden, a beautiful country with rich history, known for the northern lights, gorgeous green landscapes, and strong educational system, has seen its country turn into a place struggling with rising crime and sexual assaults. Over the past few years, Sweden has become almost unrecognizable in some areas, with once peaceful cities now facing serious challenges related to immigration and integration. In recent years, Sweden has accepted more immigrants per capita than almost any other European country. Since the 2015 refugee crisis, Sweden has taken in over 1.2 million immigrants, a significant portion of its 10 million population. Many of these immigrants come from war-torn countries such as Syria, Afghanistan, and Iraq, seeking asylum and a better life. However, the rapid influx of immigrants has overwhelmed Sweden's social services, housing, and even law enforcement. The country has seen an alarming increase in violent crime, particularly in immigrant-dominated areas. Cities like Gothenburg and Stockholm have become hotspots for gang violence, shootings, and bombings. Just in 2022, Sweden had 391 shootings and 61 bombings, many of which were linked to gang activities involving immigrant communities. The once safe nation we all loved is now grappling with a crime wave that it wasn't prepared for, becoming an unsafe place to visit or live in. Number 4, Italy. Known for its art, history, and cuisine, Italy is a popular tourist destination. However, in recent years, it has become a primary entry point for migrants crossing the Mediterranean from Africa. In fact, in 2020, immigrants represented 32% of Italy's prison population, despite making up only 8.4% of the total population. This number has only increased since then, as Italy continues to grapple with an overwhelming wave of immigration. One of the most glaring examples of this crisis is in Lampedusa, a small island located between Sicily and North Africa. Once known for its beautiful beaches and tranquil Mediterranean charm, Lampedusa has now become a hotspot for desperate migrants fleeing poverty and conflict in Africa. The island's reception center, designed to hold around 400 people, has been repeatedly overrun as thousands of migrants arrive on makeshift boats, sometimes all in a single day. In September 2023, over 7,000 migrants landed on Lampedusa within just a few days, causing chaos and overwhelming local authorities. This sudden surge has led to public protests, and the island's residents have voiced growing concerns about their safety and the strain on local resources. Many migrants end up in overcrowded centers, waiting for months as Italy struggles to process asylum claims, while others slip into the shadows, often becoming involved in criminal activities. The crime situation has worsened in major Italian cities like Rome, Milan, and Naples, where immigrant gangs are linked to drug trafficking, theft, and violent crimes. Italy's police forces are stretched thin, and many Italians feel that their government has lost control of the borders. Despite attempts to enforce stricter immigration policies, the constant flow of migrants from Africa shows no signs of slowing, turning Italy into a frontline state for Europe's immigration crisis. Number 3, Germany. Germany, known for its beautiful culture, iconic architecture, and technological advancements, is Europe's largest economy and a global powerhouse. However, the country has also become a focal point for Europe's immigration challenges. Germany's open-door policy during the 2015 refugee crisis saw over 1 million asylum seekers arrive within a short span, primarily from war-torn countries like Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan. While Germany has prided itself on its humanitarian approach, the social and security repercussions of this influx are becoming increasingly evident. The infamous 2015 New Year's Eve assaults in Cologne, where hundreds of women reported being sexually harassed and assaulted by men of mostly North African and Middle Eastern descent, shocked the nation and ignited a fierce debate on the consequences of unchecked immigration. While authorities initially tried to downplay the severity of the situation, the incident exposed the growing safety concerns in immigrant-heavy areas. In 2021, it was reported that more than 39% of suspects involved in violent crimes in Germany were foreign nationals, even though immigrants make up only around 13% of the population. These statistics have intensified public debates about the challenges of integration, the pressure on law enforcement, and the strain on Germany's welfare system. Cities like Hamburg and Frankfurt have also seen increased reports of organized crime and drug trafficking, with much of it linked to immigrant groups. Moreover, law enforcement has reported difficulties in policing certain no-go zones in cities, where gang violence and cultural clashes have created areas that are dangerous for residents and difficult for police to manage. Tensions between immigrants and native Germans have fueled the rise of far-right political movements, which has capitalized on public fears surrounding crime and immigration, further polarizing the country. Number 2. France. France, long celebrated for its rich cultural heritage, iconic art, and world-renowned cuisine, has also become one of the primary destinations for immigrants, especially from its former colonies in North Africa. Cities like Paris, Marseille, and Lyon are home to large immigrant populations, particularly from countries like Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia. While France's diverse population has contributed to a vibrant cultural mosaic, the country has increasingly struggled with social tensions and rising crime in immigrant-dense areas. In recent years, France has witnessed growing unrest between immigrant communities and law enforcement, particularly the suburbs surrounding major cities. These areas, characterized by high unemployment, poor living conditions, and a lack of social mobility, have become hotbeds of frustration and discontent. Clashes between the police and young residents from these communities have become frequent, sparking national debates about integration, discrimination, and security. The tensions are particularly evident in places like Seine-Saint-Denis, a department in the northern suburbs of Paris, where over 50% of the population is of immigrant background. This area has gained a reputation as one of the most dangerous in France due to the prevalence of violent crime, drug trafficking, and gang-related activity. Riots, protests, and clashes with law enforcement have become an increasingly common occurrence as residents express their dissatisfaction with police treatment and perceived systemic neglect. France's immigrant-heavy cities like Marseille, with its high North African population, have also seen a surge in gang violence and drug-related crime. Once known primarily for its historical port and stunning Mediterranean views, Marseille has now become infamous for its turf wars and organized crime, much of which is tied to immigrant groups. The city's violent crime rates are significantly higher than the national average, and neighborhoods like Le Castellan have become notorious for shootings, drug deals, and an overall atmosphere of lawlessness. These challenges are reflected in national crime statistics. Between 2016 and 2020, France saw a 60% increase in violent crime, much of which has been concentrated in immigrant-dominated areas. While a portion of this crime is linked to socioeconomic factors like poverty and unemployment, the government has struggled to maintain control and ensure the safety of both immigrant and native-born populations. The resulting clashes have sparked several high-profile incidents of civil unrest, including the 2017 protests that erupted in response to the police brutality against a young black man, another immigrant-heavy suburb of Paris. Despite government efforts, the tensions between law enforcement and immigrant communities remain unresolved. Number 1. London. London, the capital of the United Kingdom, is renowned for its rich history, iconic landmarks like the Tower Bridge and Buckingham Palace, and its role as a global financial hub. It's one of the most diverse cities in the world, attracting people from all corners of the globe. Over the past few decades, London has welcomed large numbers of immigrants, particularly from countries like India, Pakistan, Somalia, and Eastern Europe. While this diversity has added to the city's cultural richness, it has also contributed to rising social tensions and crime in certain areas. In recent years, London has experienced a significant surge in crime, much of it linked to immigrant-heavy boroughs such as Tower Hamlets, Newham, and Hackney. These areas, known for their high concentrations of immigrants, have seen alarming increases in gang violence, knife crimes, and drug-related activities. Immigrant gangs, particularly those from Somalia, are often involved in these incidents, contributing to the destabilization of once safe neighborhoods. A concerning trend in London is the rise in knife crime, which has plagued the city in the past decade. In 2021, there were over 10,000 knife crime offenses reported in London, with much of the violence concentrated in areas with large immigrant populations. Gang rivalries, often involving young men from immigrant backgrounds, are a significant factor in these crimes, leading to devastating consequences for both victims and communities. The situation in London has deteriorated to the point where no-go zones are frequently reported areas where residents fear the escalating violence and where police presence is minimal. As London continues to grapple with its ever-growing immigrant population, the once vibrant city is now facing a darker reality. Crime is on the rise, particularly in immigrant-heavy areas, and the city's social fabric is beginning to unravel. What was once seen as a symbol of multicultural success has now become a breeding ground for gang violence, drug trafficking, and knife crime. So there you have it. Europe is changing, and not in the way we've been led to believe. These countries that once thrived on their cultural heritage and safety are now facing crime waves, social tensions, and neighborhoods turned upside down, all thanks to unchecked immigration. Please let us know in the comments below if your home country has experienced anything similar to what was mentioned in this video. Thanks for watching.